It's Scotland against Portugal in the Nations League with Willie Miller, Leanne Crichton, Stephen Thompson and Liam McLeod.
It will be the 17th meeting between Portugal and Scotland. The Scots have won 4 to Portugal's 9. There have been 3 draws, but you've got to go back to March 1980 for a Scotland win over tonight's visitors. The pitch side mics there picking up the Portugal players in good voice. They've been to the last 6 World Cups and the last 18 Euros. They are a winning machine. Of course, champions in Europe in 2016. Cloud of Scotland. Park is filled up nicely, save for the segregation off to the left between the Portuguese visitors and the Scotland fans in the west end of the stadium. It is pretty much a full house, certainly from our vantage point in the main south stand here, up high above the Scotland technical area. The goal scorers the last time Scotland beat Portugal in 1980 was a European Championship qualifier where Dalglish, Gray, Gemmell and Archibald, who struck for Jock Stein's side. But Portugal are unbeaten in the 7 meetings since, and it's going to be the tallest of orders for Scotland to be able to upset the odds this evening and pick up their first victory competitively in 13 months. More recently in this Nations League group, and such is the pop nature of the Nations League, it's a second meeting with Portugal in the space of 4 or 5 weeks after that late heartbreak in Lisbon. Scotland beaten 2-1 by that late Ronaldo goal, having led early through McTominay, who of course starts this evening, cap 56 for him. It's Gordon in goal, Ralston, Suter, Hanley, Robertson, Gilmour and McLean, Doak, McTominay and Christie, with Adams back in the side to lead the line. Portugal, who's captain Cristiano Ronaldo, down there exchanging pennants with Andy Robertson. Robertson earning his 78th cap. It takes him 4th in the all-time cap list for his country. His next target will be Darren Fletcher. But for Portugal, Diogo Costa of Porto in goal. Back 4 of Cancelo, Diaz Silva and Mendes. Fernandes, Palhinha, Vitinha across the middle, with Conceição and Jota supporting Ronaldo through the middle, who at the age of 39 picks up cap number 216. He's netted in all 3 Nations League matches so far. All 3 victories for the Portuguese. Most recently, a 3-1 success in Warsaw against Poland, which has left them very tidily at the top of Nations League A Group 1. Before kick-off, and the 2 sets of players are just making their way to the fringes of the centre circle, there will be a minute's applause in memory of the former Scottish First Minister Alex Salmond, who passed away on Saturday. We got the news during the game in Zagreb. He was a passionate Scotland supporter. He was in Germany in the summer, and Hampden Park will pay tribute to a political giant here this evening. Applause for the former Scottish First Minister Alex Salmond, who passed away at the age of 69 at the weekend. Scotland then are going to kick off against the 2016 European champions. They will shoot from left to right, wearing their home colours, the navy blue with yellow flashes, shooting towards the east end of the stadium. Portugal in their change kit this evening, the light kit with the black flashes, and they will shoot towards Mount Florida in this first half, right to left. The Belgian referee is just about ready to get things started. Can Scotland end this long wait for a victory? And it's Billy Gilmour with the first touch, and it goes low back to John Souttar. And the Rangers defender picks it up, long right foot ball swung forward to the left angle of the Portuguese box, where it's nodded clear, but collected by McTominay. He'll be looking to repeat the trick he produced in the Portuguese capital last month. And if anything we've learned, despite lack of victories, Leanne Crichton, is that this Scottish team's been playing some good football, and it's about, I suppose, trying to continue that, try and score, and try and be tighter in defence, because the goals they have been leaking, all 35 of them, I think, across this one win in 15, some of them have been dreadful.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. Different types of goals as well, transitional goals, set-piece goals, late goals. But along the way, Scotland have played some nice football. There's been good structure in and out of possession. I thought the Poland game and the early signs were pretty positive, then it all turned sour in the first half. So I just hope tonight Scotland can build their way into this game, keep things really tight at the back, and as you mentioned, can we score a goal, can we go in front, and hopefully keep it that way. Ronaldo's given it away and Gilmour has it. He's now fringes of the attacking third, but a misunderstanding out there on the far side with Ben Doak, who appears to, for now at least, started over on the left with Christie on the right. Christie kind of replaced Doak on the right-hand side in Zagreb when Doak came off the pitch at the weekend. Ryan Gauld came on, and Christie came over to this right-hand side, Leanne, as he's doing right now. Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Doak and Christie will be slightly more inverted, coming in onto their stronger sides, and actually that can work for you. When Scotland have got the ball and without the ball, it probably just offers a more defensive structure inside the pitch as well. Joao Palhinha just touching it back there to Antonio Silva, and over on the right it's Ronaldo down the line, and a challenge from McLean, whose wonderful ball was headed home by McTominay in the meeting last month. Maybe a Portugal throw-in over on the far side. I noticed yesterday, Stephen, the Portuguese side training at St Mirren Park in Paisley.
Yeah, they know where to go, Liam, down to Fergusley. They know their stuff. Yeah, I mean, obviously there was a big turnout. It's hilarious there, Ronaldo's first touch of the ball, and all the Scotland fans are booing him. That's a bad one.
Dreadful ball there by Nuno Mendes, and Scotland could be in. Ralston chasing after it. Now it's with McTominay in the box. His effort at goal is blocked, but the ref's going to bring it back for a foul for Portugal, the edge of their own area anyway, for a challenge on Nuno Mendes. But there's a really slack ball out there by the Paris Saint-Germain left back.
It was as if he didn't even see that there was a Scotland player in front of the pass back to centre half. It was a dreadful pass, but showed a real turn of pace to get back in and try and make up for the error. Ralston just giving away the foul after McTominay getting the wee shot off. But yeah, positive sign for Scotland, that getting a shot off so early in the game.
It's Portugal in possession, back with Diogo Costa at the edge of his own box. He plays it short forward to the ever impressive Ruben Diaz of Manchester City. Exchanges passes with Vitinha, and out to that right hand side. It's going to be touched into the midfield for Vitinha again. Long ball, looking to get it in over the top of Robertson. There's too much on it though, and Craig Gordon gathers with Francisco Conceição chasing it down. One of the more inexperienced players in the side, but he's with Juventus and he's scored a couple this season, including against Leipzig in the Champions League.
It's a really good run he made in behind the blind side of Andy Robertson. The pass was nearly perfect, but the pitch is perfect and there's a wee kind of skiddiness on it, so as soon as anything's through.
It's an early free kick taken quickly for Scotland, long down the left-hand side for Ben Doak. Now he has it up against Joao Cancelo, level with the 6-yard line, back to Robertson, digs the cross out, McTominay's header straight at the keeper. What a chance to do what he did last month in Lisbon. Diogo Costa holds on, and it stays Scotland 0, Portugal 0 on 4 minutes.
That's a chance, isn't it? Scott McTominay, you would have put your house on it that he would score. Lovely delivery, completely unmarked inside the 6-yard box. Does everything right in terms of rising, getting good contact on the ball. It put it anywhere else in the goal other than right into Diogo Costa's hands. Big chance for Scotland.
Got to score for me, Leanne.
He's got to.
Score,
he's got to.
I mean, the quality of delivery in from Andy Robertson's excellent. Ben Doak can pick the ball up in a decent area, lays it back to Robertson. The cross-ins in perfect for McTominay, and as you're rightly pointing out, Liam, we've seen him doing that before. But from that range, with nobody marking you, you've got to be doing more.
Keep going back to it. There was a period where Steve Clarke was deploying him as a right centre-back.
That's it, yeah.
Which and did that at Wembley, a decent effect, I suppose, at the previous European Championship finals. But that was a serious opportunity to add to his 11 international goals. All his goals have come in competitive fixtures as well, although there are fewer friendlies these days. It is Portugal in possession over on that right-hand side. An early scare for them. So it comes back to Diogo Costa. We'll be happy with that early save. Out to Nuno Mendes on this near side and into Vitinha. Faced by Gilmour. Just knocks it back to Joao Palhinha, Bayern Munich, and it's fired out to the right-hand side. Portugal and numbers coming forward in support of this attack. 3 in and around the box. Laid back to Ronaldo. And he shifts it back there to Vitinha. It's switched back out to the left-hand side. Ruben Diaz out to Nuno Mendes, level with the edge of the D. It's played short there to Bruno Fernandes, and now he gets it back immediately from Diaz. Exchanges passes with Mendes. Fernandes for the ball, looking for Ronaldo, but it's gone over his head and held on to comfortably by Craig Gordon. Goalless on 6 minutes.
Yeah, you can see what Portugal are trying to do, just occupy the ball in Scotland's half, make them work. They're a lovely footballing side when you see the way the 1 and 2 touch passing, constantly creating overloads all over the pitch. That ball looking for Ronaldo, of course, but just too much in the delivery.
Billy Gilmour on this near side for Scotland on the touchline. Short ball back to Ralston. Suter has it at the edge of his own box, under pressure from Fernandes. He plays it to Gordon and to Hanley, left-hand side of the box, back to his goalkeeper, who hits it first time with the left foot. Difficult one to control for Ben Doak. It's ended up back at the edge of their own penalty area, and Gilmour's done well to sweep up at the back. He's under serious pressure there as well from Diogo Jota. And as Scotland lose it in the midfield, Portugal have it back. Bruno Fernandes back to Nuno Mendes, and he switches it there to Antonio Silva, who we saw last month. Also saw him come up against Rangers in the Europa League last season, playing at the heart of the Benfica defence. He's only 20. He's already somebody who is following in the footsteps of the man he's playing directly beside at the heart of the Portugal defence tonight. And it is the aforementioned Ruben Diaz on the ball right now. And he's at walking pace. Keep you up to date as we go along with the match in Warsaw. Poland taking on Croatia. It's a loose touch in the far side, but He's got away with it to Silva, and then Ronaldo has it on the right. His ball forwards blocked, and it's good defending by Scotland. Conceição couldn't get onto it, and now it's back with Suter, who pushes it into midfield, but it's not a great ball. Gilmour was under too much pressure, and now Portugal have it. It's a heavy touch by Jota. Breaks to Ronaldo, he shoots, and Gordon holds on. Low left foot effort. Gordon dives to his left and holds on again, pretty comfortably, but again, these unforced errors. Scotland giving the ball away in a dreadful area, as well as Poland go 1-0 up against Croatia in the other game in this section this evening.
Yeah, it was a slack pass, Liam, into the middle of the pitch. Ryan Christie caught just a wee bit on his heels, but the pass wasn't great. Mendes nicks it, a couple of ricochets that lands at Ronaldo's feet. There's only one thing in his mind, on his left foot this time. As soon as the ball falls at his foot, he just tries to unleash a shot, doesn't get enough power on it really. Comfortable for Craig Gordon.
McTominay has it now, midway inside Portuguese territory. Low ball to Christie to his right. Christie looking to reverse it to Ralston. He has done. Early ball comes off Ruben Diaz, and that favours the goalkeeper, who holds on. Really good play by Scotland, in particular from Scott McTominay. Lovely little turn on the other side to open up the space, open up the chance. Ralston, though, couldn't find a teammate, and it stays nothing each.
Yeah, McTominay started really well. Some nice touches, had that chance that we've spoke about. Just the way he moves with the ball, but his vision, he's always looking to open up the game, find a forward pass where possible, and that's what Scotland have tried to do in these early moments in the game as well. Good support play from Tony Ralston down this right hand side, and probably just not enough on the delivery, and it just allows
to be too safe.
Aye.
To keeping it away from the goalkeeper, but he probably had about another yard to play with. But it was a really nice move from Scotland.
Inter's Vitor Zielinski scored the Poland goal against Croatia early on in the other game in this section. The Poles in front. And I was just about to say, before a ball was kicked tonight, still realistic for Scotland to finish in third spot and stay in Nations League A. It would drop them into a playoff in March to try and remain in League A up against a League B runner-up. They would need to finish above Poland, you would imagine, would be the target, but Poland leading Croatia is not ideal with regards to that target. There's still nothing each year, and Scotland have started the game pretty well. There have been warnings. The Portuguese are here to play as well, though. That's knocked back to Hanley in the veteran part of his career now. Suter, another poor ball out of defence by Scotland. He was panic-stricken there, and he's given it straight to Ruben Diaz. Vitinha, Ronaldo now. Ronaldo rolls it out to the right-hand side. Portugal have 3 or 4 in the box. A chip ball to the back post. Ralston gets a crucial flick to put it behind for the corner. Really good play again by Portugal. Really good ball in. But that all came from a slack ball out of defence by John Suter. It was almost like he panicked at the last second and thought, I just need to get rid of this.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to do the right things. That's why he's making mistakes. They've clearly spoke about playing under pressure and looking to try and play out the press, but those times it's just not on. Got to be a lot more careful because it's just uninvited pressure Scotland are welcoming.
Bruno Fernandes over the corner. He's got Conceição as a short option. It's a relatively busy 6-yard box, which the Belgian referee is going to try and calm down right now as we take on to 11 minutes in Glasgow, where it is still goalless. But Portugal have their first corner of the evening, which will be taken from this near side, the Portuguese left, as they attack the goal to the left. This right in front of the Portugal fans who are here tonight. In from the Manchester United player, Gordon beats it away, and Robertson completes the clearance out for a Portugal throw-in, level with the Scottish penalty spot on this near side.
Craig Gordon does really well. It's a dangerous ball whipped in at that near post. He gets up, he gets 2 fists on it, beats it away from the danger. Quality of ball in was very, very good. Just no Portuguese players making that run to the front post, but Craig Gordon dealing with it anyway.
Portugal have gone all the way back to the halfway line, and it's switched to the right of the circle for Antonio Silva. Short ball there to the right-hand side for Joao Cancelo. Now with Ronaldo, who was a second-half substitute in the game last month. He came on right at the start of the second half after the break. And it's Portugal in possession with Vitinha rolling it low along the grass, back to Antonio Silva and over to that right-hand side and played down the line for Conceição. Little ball infield for Vitinha. There is space to work in. Scotland trying to close it down now. Vitinha has it. It's back to the right of the centre circle for Antonio Silva. Scotland trying to stick to their guns. There was a by and large, a really good defensive performance in Zagreb. They were still breached twice, of course. It's Portugal give it away, but Adams can't make nothing of it, and they've got it back here to the Portuguese. João Palhinha switching the play to the right-hand side, and then Robertson's challenge on João Cancelo puts it behind for a quick fire Portugal corner over on the far side. Nothing each.
Yeah, it was a good team shape initially to win the ball back. Adams does defensive duty as well, but then he just loses the ball straight away. Just offers Portugal the chance to keep the pressure on, and it's another corner which we know how deadly Ronaldo can also be inside the penalty area.
And Suter trying to stick with him. Bruno Fernandes over the corner from that northwest side. He's played it low, back to Vitinha, who then to his left for João Cancelo, and then out to the left-hand side. Nuno Mendes' cross is blocked. Vitinha has it again, picking up the scraps. It's back out on this near side with Nuno Mendes looking across with the left, blocked by Ralston, and out for a Portugal throw-in level with the Scotland penalty spot again on this near side. Portugal beginning to find their rhythm now. See Alan Irvine down there talking to Steve Clark in the home technical area. It's a little concerning few minutes. It's going to be, I would imagine, plenty of periods like this in the game as it's switched out to that right-hand side. Conceição level with the penalty spot, just rolling it back the way for João Cancelo. Into Conceição, he gets the ball in to the back post, no takers, and it's come off. Ryan Christie last and behind for another Portugal corner. Real period of intense pressure here from the visitors on 14 minutes.
Yeah, as they move the ball so well from side to side. It really stretches the Scotland defence in midfield, having to work so hard to get across the pitch, and the delivery in there was absolutely sensational. If Ryan Christie has got a touch on it, they couldn't make their mind up if he had or not. And it's a great wee touch because Mendes was right behind him. Yeah,
there weren't too many complaints, which suggest he did. Another Fernandes corner. It's played low into the box here. The block challenge on Diogo Jota, and Scotland emerge with the ball, and it's Billy Gilmour just trying to get rid of it. He can't find Doak though, and Vitinha prods it back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, Billy Gilmour just limping there as he tried to play that one upfield. Hopefully,
he actually looked as if he was really struggling. To be fair, he was
going for a second,
trying to get players' attention just to let them know. I don't know if he actually just rolled his own ankle as he went to play the pass. But again, bodies behind the ball. Scotland winning the ball back and looking to try and break up play. It's just that next pass, that next layer on the game. How do we get ourselves back up the pitch now? Portugal just looking to gain more territory every second that goes by. They're moving the ball so well.
Portugal have it down the right-hand side. Perhaps a chance for João Cancelo to cross outside of the boot bulk and into the area. Headed away by Christie. Trying to complete the clearance. Gilmour, he's still limping a little bit. Still they have the chance. João Cancelo, right-hand side of the penalty spot. His shot's blocked. And a high boot on Robertson. Free kick Scotland. And no yellow for the Portugal right-back. Robertson felt the force of that. Will be a Scotland free kick inside their own area.
Again, Portugal really putting us under pressure. Another delivery into the box that we kind of half clear. It bounces up into the air, and I don't think Cancelo really sees Robertson out the corner of his eye when Robertson goes up to win the header. Don't even know if he catches him in the face, but he's up and he's back on with it. I mean, they're causing us a lot of problems from these crosses into the box, which are so dangerous.
Gilmour will hope he's okay, because he's in line potentially for his first Serie A start this weekend, because Napoli's Stanislav Lobotka picked up an injury playing for Slovakia against Azerbaijan in this international break. Would give Gilmour the chance to come in their trip to Empoli at the weekend. I hope he's okay. Adams going after it. The referee's blown his whistle. Portugal have a free kick. It's 0-0 at Hampden. 16.5 on the clock, Leanne Crichton.
That's a harsh decision for Che Adams. He controls it with his thigh, and the ball just kind of pops up and hits his arm, but I don't think he really knew too much about it. My understanding was at times that the referees would let that go unless it leads directly to a goal, which he couldn't be any further from the goal. So anyway, back to Portugal dominating possession.
Yeah, it's felt like a tough 10 minutes for Scotland. They haven't been breached as yet, but Portugal don't go through 90 minutes without scoring terribly often. And it is the visitors on the ball down the right. João Cancelo just knocking it infield to Vitinha, right of the centre circle. And then Cancelo switches it right to left. Ruben Dias picks up low ball with the side foot right out to this left-hand side. Nuno Mendes, his cross is cut out by Ralston. Bouncing ball's awkward. Diogo Jota goes after it. He's a fine footballer, but he's just taken Christie out, and the referee's going to yellow card the Liverpool man. First booking of the evening. He's perplexed by the decision not to award the free kick, but to award the yellow card. And Diogo Jota goes into the Belgians' little black book. It's 0-0 at Hampden.
Looked a wee bit harsh to me, I have to say. I didn't see too much in it in real time. Anthony Rouse can kind of get caught underneath it, and then Christie gets back to double up with him. I think he just dangles a leg out. I mean, I don't know if there's much in that.
No, I mean, the angle that we are seeing of it, even in the replay, not great. But I just wonder if it is one of those, he's really not meant it at all, but it looks to me like he's possibly just caught him above the foot. Might get a better look at it here. Yeah, he comes down on him just in the inside of his ankle, so above the foot, which most referees now will view that as a yellow card, unfortunately, for Jota.
Yeah, endangering the opponent. That will go down as good play by Adams, and then Christie goes down again, and the referee thinks he was fouled again. Bruno Fernandes this time, and it will be a Scotland free kick about level with the edge of the centre circle on this right-hand side. The referee speaking to Ronaldo in Ronaldo's defence, and he does like to speak to everyone a lot on the pitch. It's the skipper that has to do the talking to the referee these days.
Yeah, I think he felt Ryan Christie maybe bought that one.
He's away back in again.
He can't help it, can
he? The crowd are enjoying it, at least. Look, it's smart play from Christie. There's not an awful lot in the challenge.
He waits for the contact,
minimal contact. He's buying his side a bit of time and opportunity to get up the pitch. But when you're wrong side of the player, there's only so much you can do. So slightly naive from Diaz, I think it was, it came through the back of him, and Ronaldo certainly pleading his case.
Scotland free kick. Roberto Martinez was having a go at the fourth official as well. Free kick Scotland. Robertson bends it with the left foot into the edge of the box. His block comes back to Christie, and he shoots straight at the goalkeeper. Caught it well enough there, Ryan Christie, on the left foot. Diogo Costa made it look like a simple save at the end of the day. 19 and a half in, 0-0.
Yeah, and it was for him a simple save, but good play from Scotland, good positioning from Ryan Christie to arrive underneath the ball, and certainly gets a good strong contact. He's at in the thick of it again. I'm actually surprised that the referee's not going to show him a card.
I thought that would have been another yellow card there, I have to admit. Christie not dealing with the pace of Mendes down this left-hand side. Dangles a leg in, late with the challenge. The referee's been lenient there. But yeah, Scotland have the two best chances really of the match so far. I mean, that wasn't a brilliant chance, but half cleared by the Portuguese defence. Falls to Christie, takes a touch, gets the shot away. But you're right, Leanne, it's never really going to test Costa in the Portugal goal, that. But two efforts on goal.
I was actually looking at a showreel of Ryan Christie's best goals in his career a day or two ago, and if he'd scored that, you wouldn't be surprised. The quality he has when it comes to his finishing, and I know he's playing this deeper role at Bournemouth just now, but he is just a magician when it comes to that sort of situation generally. Conceição, not a magician on this occasion. The ball goes through between his feet and out for a throw-in for Scotland, midway inside their own half, over on that left-hand side. Bowled up to McTominay on the halfway line. He's had it pinched off him though, and Portugal have it back. Might well have been a foul by McTominay there. The referees allowing the visitors to continue. Bruno Fernandes, who has it, just right of the centre circle, of course knows McTominay so well from their time at Old Trafford. There's McTominay leaving for Napoli since then. Scotland trying to play it out from the back. They've lost it. Vitinha has it, and he almost managed to find Conceição. Well blocked by Robertson, and he's got it into the feet of McTominay, who has it on the left-hand side. Conceição all over him. McTominay at least wins a throw-in right in front of the North Stand over there. 21 and a half on the clock. Scotland 0, Portugal 0.
Difficulty is when we do win the ball back is trying to keep hold of it, and I think Steve Clarke spoke about that in his pre-match press conference. Being better in possession, everything is a wee bit rushed. There's a lack of real options when we win the ball back and we aren't set up properly. That's when you maybe just need that extra pass. It doesn't need to go forward so quickly, but unfortunately we're giving it away quite a lot when we win it back.
It's happened again there. It looked like Tony Ralston might well have been fouled there on the halfway line. That's what the Scotland supporters are suggesting. He's been helped to his feet by Ronaldo, and Nuno Mendes picks up on this near side, just flicks it infield to Vitinha, who gives it to Ronaldo and gets it back immediately, just left of the centre circle. Low ball comes back into the feet of Joao Palhinha and out to the right hand side, where Antonio Silva slips it down the line for Conceição. And back on that right-hand side, moved into Vitinha. And then a little ball back by Palhinha to Antonio Silva. Shifts it right to left of the circle for Ruben Dias. And now out to Nuno Mendes. Low ball back to Ruben Dias, who pokes it back out to Nuno Mendes on the near side. Christie trying to meet him, slides in. Mendes gets away from him, manages to dink the ball down the line for Diogo Jota. He's surrounded by navy shirts, 3 of them. Ralston goes out with it, and Christie takes over, and then Christie barges Nuno Mendes to the deck, and that will be a Portugal free kick. Just a few yards from this near side touchline, almost bang level with the arc of the Scotland penalty area.
Yeah, it's a dangerous area. Christie, I don't think he's got too much to complain about. He tries to be cute and dink the ball beyond Nuno Mendes. Mendes just reads it really well, gets his body in front, and again does what Christie done a couple of minutes ago, just reads the game, takes the contact, hits the grass, and it's an easy decision for the referee.
I think that'll be Christie's last foul before he goes in the book.
He looks to me as if he's playing a little bit on the edge just now. I mean, he's heavily involved
struggling
emotionally.
a wee bit with the pace.
Yeah, possibly, but there's been a fair few fouls now that have accumulated.
He has been getting in about it.
Portugal free kick. Bruno Fernandes over on this near side. He's left it for Nuno Mendes. He swings it in with the left foot. It's just a little bit too much on it for Diogo Jota to do anything with it, and it's kept alive on the right-hand side of Ruben Dias, level with the penalty spot. Low ball back the way to Joao Cancelo. Now it's with Vitinha. Back out to that right-hand side, and it's Conceição. He goes down. He's been fouled by Ralston. That's a free kick, just a foot or two away from the right-hand side of the Scotland box. Conceição tripped. There's can't really be too many complaints about that. It was one of those little challenges that I don't think the defender can have any complaints about, and Portugal have another opportunity here as they try and find this opening goal. We played 24 and a half, nothing each.
Yeah, it's a foul. I mean, I think he tries to make the most of it, this Conceição, but it's a definite foul from Tony Ralston. His feet are just too quick for him. He dangles the foot out, and yeah, it's a free kick, and you're right, a very, very dangerous area.
It's not quite level with the penalty spot. It's not far off it, right-hand side of the box. Again, the Portugal fans have a terrific view of it. They're on the other side of the goal, but we've got a view right up the corridor of this free kick coming into the Scotland penalty area. Flighted towards goal, and Gordon does brilliantly to make the save. Nuno Mendes went for goal himself there. Gordon was alive to it, and he tips it behind for the corner. It stays 0-0 on 25.
Yeah, it's brilliant from Gordon. Good strong hand up to his top right-hand corner. A couple of players arriving at the back area, one being Ronaldo, who credits the delivery in terms of the effort on goal. But Scotland, you just feel Portugal are getting closer and closer to breaking the deadlock here. It really is an intense period of pressure for Scotland.
Congested 6-yard box here. Bruno Fernandes with the corner. He's drifted it to the edge of the area, but it's anticipated well by McLean, who gets it away. And then it's turned all the way back to the goalkeeper by Joao Cancelo. And it remains Scotland 0, Portugal 0. As a long ball for Diogo Jota to chase. He's not going to get there, and that gives me an opportunity to bring Willie Miller into the party for the first time since kick-off. Willie, what are you making of it?
Well, I think as far as chances go, then Scotland have had the better of the opportunity. The McTominay header should have really been a goal. You know, the guys have alluded to that. You know, it was such an easy opportunity for him. Really surprised he didn't take it, but it's hard going as well. You know, when Portugal are in possession, they move the ball so smoothly about, you know, from side to side. Really good width, you know, and some wicked crosses into the box. But so far, Scotland have stood up to it, and it's on the break, isn't it? It's in transition that they're going to hurt. You know, Portugal, if they get the opportunity, because Portugal are basically dominating the ball.
It's a really bad foul, actually, by Scott McTominay, just as Willie was talking, on his old Manchester United pal Bruno Fernandes. He's been yellow carded for it, and Portugal have a free kick midway inside Scottish territory, about 10 yards from the near side touchline. So yet again the Scotland defence coming under heavy duress here. Taking the free kicks short and put it straight to Billy Gilmour. It's all inexplicable from Nuno Mendes. Ben Doak picks it up. We've not seen him on the ball at all yet. His little pass in field to Gilmour doesn't make it to its intended target, and Portugal have it back almost immediately.
What a mess up that free kick is. It was incredible. I think Mendes tries to tap it to Ronaldo at the same time he tries to tap it to him. and they make an absolute hash of it.
I mean, they've stood and chatted about it for long enough, so I've got no idea how they've managed to both end up on completely different pages, but it certainly played out in Scotland's favour.
Well, I don't know what on earth's going on in Warsaw, but remember Poland took the lead through Zielinski. It's now 3-1 Croatia. Wow. Sosa, Sucic and Baturina have all scored, all in the space of 6 minutes. Poland 1, Croatia 3. Wow. Anyway, Portugal have it on the far side. Croatia win that. It's 2 games left here. Scotland to play Poland in Warsaw in the final match. You've got Croatia and Glasgow. Third place is still not out of the question. It's clutching at straws, obviously. And it's 0-0 here at the moment. But look, third place would actually have to go down as a success, given the run they're on just now, given they've lost their opening 3.
Yeah, I think that would be a brilliant outcome based on the results and how the group has played out this far. But as we know, we can, even with the glimmer of hope that is provided to us, we can always be very typically Scottish about it.
Offside flag was up against Ronaldo. And Scotland have a free kick, goalless here. Scotland looking to register their first point, or points, in this section. All eyes will be on the World Cup qualifying draw when it's made at the end of the group stage of this edition of the Nations League. Ralston picks up, slides it down the right-hand side of the Portugal box for Adams, who's been feeding off scraps so far. Rolls it back to Christie, now into the midfield for McLean, just right of the circle, touches it back to Suter, who finds Gilmore on this near side, and then McLean fires it out to Ralston, who's brought to the ground by Nuno Mendes. And no card on this occasion, but it is a Scotland free kick, level with the edge of the centre circle on this right-hand side. That happening right in front of Roberto Martinez, who, before or after training in Paisley yesterday, was getting his photo with his old Motherwell teammate Keith Lasley.
Oh, he did all over his Insta as well.
Did he really?
Fair play.
Yeah, of course, James McFadden played with Martinez during his brief spell at Fir Park 20 years ago now. Long ball, John Suter, big switch out to that left-hand side. Dope trying to keep it in play, he can't do it, they can't get him in the game at all. And it's out for a throw into Portugal, midway inside their own half on the north stand side. We played half an hour. Scotland 0, Portugal 0.
I thought it was actually a good ball from
I think he just
Suter.
got mixed up. He was going to take it on his chest and then it dipped. He was going to take it in his knee and then it hits his hip and goes out of the pitch.
Yeah, he just gets it all wrong. I think the ball was in flight far too long. Give him too much time to think about it, but you're right, Liam, he's not been in the game yet, and it's an asset that we've discussed in terms of Scotland and the positives over the last number of games. So Scotland need to start feeding Doak the ball.
Not sure how many games and he hasn't started many in his senior career. I'm not sure how many he started over on the left flank. Any time I've seen him, he's been on the right, as he was in Zagreb. Portugal picking up a free kick meantime, midway inside the Scotland half over on the right. They've taken it quickly. It's into the midfield for Bruno Fernandes and then played short there to Vitinha. Out to Conceição. João Cancelo on the overlap, level with the penalty spot. Bends it in. Diogo Jota, and then Ronaldo with a scissors kick, and he's put it wide of the right-hand post. And it stays Scotland 0, Portugal 0. I'm not sure if he's going to get penalised for dangerous play there as well. Ronaldo might well be a free kick that's been given in the end.
I think only Ronaldo would have thought about doing that in that situation.
No, I know. And to be fair though, you would see a lot of players considering putting their head exactly where his boot was, because it would draw another decision from the referee. In this instance, I think is it Gilmer, he's a couple of yards off it. You know, it's just, you're going to take these types of moments out of the game now, isn't it?
For me, he's not close enough to Gilmer for that to be given as a foul.
No.
And it's an unbelievably acrobatic effort. We're talking about a guy who's nearly 40 years old.
There's nothing wrong with that, actually.
And he's only a yard past the post with it.
Yeah.
Incredible effort.
Yeah, but to execute those nowadays and not be penalised, there's got to be nobody near you. And Gilmer was there. Suter turns it back to Craig Gordon, slices it up into the air. Bruno Fernandes gets there ahead of Ralston. It's forced infield to Vitinha, who's been heavily involved in proceedings so far. It's back to Ruben Dias, low ball to the right of the centre circle for Antonio Silva, and out to João Cancelo over on that right-hand side. A Portuguese team Scotland are up against tonight. They've only lost 4 of their last 23 since losing to Morocco at the last World Cup. They've won 17 of those. The only sides to have beaten them have been Slovenia in a March friendly, Croatia in a pre-Euro friendly, Georgia in their final group game. Of course, they rested a whole host of players in that one. And then France in the quarter-finals. The latter was in penalties. Here come Portugal down the right again. Conceição's low ball in. He got away from Robertson. It's cut out by McLean though. Striding out of defence, Kenny McLean.
Not an option.
Yeah, 3 Portuguese players around him. He's actually managed to win a throw-in, which for Kenny McLean there, given the pressure he was under, is a bit of a result. It stays nothing each on almost 33.
It's such a problem for us though.
It's remarkable, and that's probably where the argument comes in, Dykes over Adams, because I think if you've got Dykes in the team tonight, in the moments, I think structurally Scotland have been really good out of possession at points. 4-4-2, McTominay's joining Adams, they're dropping, McLean picks up the ball just in front of the back line inside the penalty area. You need an outlet. How can you get up the pitch if nobody's going to take the ball in?
Great ball by Adams that time, fires it out to Ralston, who finds Christie on the near side. Christie to the edge of the box looking for Adams. It's headed away though by Antonio Silva, and now it's broken to Vitinha, and Scotland had committed players forward. The visitors trying to hit them on the counter here. Vitinha into the path of Conceição, wide on the right, up against Robertson, level with the penalty spot. Little ball infield to João Cancelo, back to Conceição, heads it in towards Ronaldo, tries to get ahead of the goal, but it's between 2 Scottish defenders and they're able to leather it clear down that left-hand side, and it remains nothing each. But again, Scotland a good few players forward in support of that previous attack. It left gaps.
Shows you the problem when we do actually get forward. You know, we're cut open far easier. On that occasion, the ball comes in. It was a really difficult one for Ronaldo to get on the end of. His movement's good, but he was actually well marshalled by our defence. The defence has actually done reasonably well with the cross balls that have come in so far tonight.
So far, so good. It's shifted to the left of the centre circle for Ruben Diaz. Then out to Nuno Mendes on this near side. Back in field to Diaz. Plays it short to Palhinha, who's playing that anchor role, quarterback role in the Portugal midfield. And to Nuno Mendes on this near side. Back in field to Ruben Diaz, to Vitinha. Fires it low, back left of the centre circle for Palhinha. Big long switch out to Conceição, but his touch takes it straight to Robertson, who can't keep it in play. And it goes out for a Portugal throw-in over on the far side, level with the edge of the D of the Scotland box. Just heading towards the final 10 minutes of the 45 in the first half here at Hampden. Sports Sound, BBC Radio Scotland, here on digital, online, bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. Matchday 4 in the Nations League. Scotland 3 successive defeats at the start of the campaign. Hanley has left it to Gordon as he kept it inside the box though. His whole body just about came outside the area, but he managed to swivel round and keep both gloves on the ball. Well, I mean, it just didn't look as though there was enough pace on the ball for Grant Hanley to be able to do that. I'm not sure if did he have the opportunity to just smash it out the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's risk v reward. He's looking to try and regain possession. Knows he perhaps doesn't need to smash it out the pitch and give Portugal possession back, but Gordon does just enough to keep it in play.
It's the lively Vitinha to Ronaldo. Diogo Jota out to Conceição. He's got the overlap from João Cancelo, who's fired it low across, and it goes behind for the corner. Got plenty on it as well, and I think Craig Gordon is delighted to see it go that side of the post and not squeezed by him. It's another Bruno Fernandes corner coming up.
Yeah, he was wrong-footed, Gordon, wasn't he? The deflection,
yeah,
it was certainly taking the ball away from him.
It's the speed of their passing is absolutely brilliant to watch. It really is in their movement, the overlap, and then you're right, if that takes a nick towards goal, Gordon's beat.
Short corner, played back by Conceição to Vitinha. To that right-hand side for Fernandes. Now he's found Vitinha, faced by Gilmore. Fernandes has it again into Vitinha, now with Nuno Mendes in a central area, out to the left-hand side for João Cancelo. Been playing on the right, he's on the left here, he's got on the left foot, gets the cross in, headed away by Suter. Christie trying desperately to get it under control. It's just almost impossible for Scotland to get a proper feel of the ball here. Portugal have it back again. Leading the Scots a merry dance at the moment, and it's Bruno Fernandes out to that right-hand side for Conceição. Ronaldo plays it short, chip ball coming in towards Nuno Mendes, heads it down, the shot at goal is held on to by Gordon from Diogo Jota. There's a really important block there. I'm not sure, was it Ralston maybe was in the way of that, and it took a deflection, it looped up into the air, but it actually favoured the Scotland goalkeeper. With 8 to the break, it's Scotland 0, Portugal 0.
Yeah, it did favour Scotland in Gordon's positioning, certainly, but Portugal are absolutely schooling Scotland in how to dominate the ball and possession, but how to do that with an intensity to your play that makes it so difficult. Scotland, every challenge, every time they get close to the ball, it looks like it's a last-ditch effort, because it is the speed of play moving across the pitches. Almost impossible for Scotland to keep up with at times, but they've got to just stick with it, because concentration levels have been good.
Portugal playing it out from the back. It's out on this near side. Adams herring around, trying to get onto it, chasing shadows at the moment, but Portugal give it away. McLean scoops the ball to the left-hand side of the box, but it's a poor execution. Ben Doak was the smallest player on the pitch, I think, and he's looped the high ball out towards him, gets nowhere near him, and it sails behind for the goal kick, and a real waste of Scotland possession on the fringes of the attacking third there. Nothing each.
Portugal just guilty of overplaying. I mean, they do the first bit extremely well, but then they try a wee flick round the corner. It goes to Kenny. He's got other options, but he tries to force this cross round the back post to Doak.
Chance for Scotland here on the counter. Here's Christie. It's forced away from goal, just knocks it short back to Ralston, to Christie, back to Anthony Ralston. He elects to go back to Suter on the halfway line. Suter out to Christie. Ralston's continued his run. Christie elects to put it into Gilmore. To his left, and into the centre circle for McLean. That's a better ball out to the left, looking for Robertson, but it just skips away from him. And Joao Cancelo's onto it, and Portugal are onto it, and they're driving down the right-hand side. Low pass forwards, cut out well by Hanley. McTominay, and then McLean goes down. The ref's whistle arrives, and I think he's a little bit fortunate there, is Kenny McLean, but it's going to be a free kick to Scotland, just as it looked as though Joao Cancelo was going to nick in behind. It stays Scotland 0, Portugal 0. Scotland free kick just outside their box, maybe just in the 18-yard line.
And it's a favourable decision, I would need to say, for Scotland. I didn't think it was a free kick when I seen it in real time.
No, it's definitely not a free kick.
And Kenny McLean's lucky, because it comes from his misplaced pass. He's just trying to be too cute in the middle of the pitch. He's lifting the ball off the grass to try and dink it over to Andy Robertson. It lands somewhere in between Robertson and Doak, and Portugal are on the attack again. So Scotland really need to tidy up. I mean, it's bad enough chasing the ball when the Portuguese have got it, but to then misplace passes and have unforced errors, it's going to make the job even tougher.
Christie for Scotland. He's managed to get it to Adams, who shoots from 25 yards. It's blocked. And it breaks to Vitinha. He's been buzzing around the midfield superbly well.
Yeah, it's looked good.
Vitinha looks a really good player. 24, Paris Saint-Germain. He came through the ranks there as Nuno Mendes picks up on the left. Now rolls it to Vitinha again. Against Gilmore. Spreads it out right-hand side of the Scotland box for Conceição. The right angle. Low ball back's poor. He's giving it straight to Shea Adams. Adams looking for Doak. Gets it under control on tight position. He's done really well, Doak, but his teammates didn't anticipate it. Nuno Mendes has it now. Bruno Fernandes, the edge of the box. Vitinha finds Ronaldo, who scoops it high over the bar. And it stays with 5 to play in the first half. Scotland 0, Portugal 0.
It comes again from us winning the ball back from Portugal and then giving it away within 3 seconds. It was Ben Doak on that occasion. Really good break. Pick out from Bruno Fernandes. Comes across basically 18-yard line to Ronaldo, and you're just expecting him to rip that into the far top corner. And he gets right underneath it and it flies over the top of the bar.
Easy for you to say. No, it's Scotland and their mistakes, but it's almost like the focus has been on the defensive structure out of possession, what that looks like, very disciplined. Then you win the ball back, and it's like they're still then trying to play out of the pressure that they're in, because they don't have that outlet in a Dykes up top that you can go and turn the ball and then get numbers around it. So it's just that next layer to the game. If Steve Clarke can get the players in at half-time, no doubt it'll be something that he'll look to try and address. How do you then go and cause that problem to Portugal?
I'll let Tomo try and untie his tongue. Portugal pick up the ball again, and Antonio Silva down the right-hand side touchline for Conceição, back in field to Vitinha, and shifted to the left of the centre circle for Ruben Dias. That half-time interval is getting closer. Portugal yet to score, but there have been late goals and matches conceded by Scotland recently. Even though it was they who found the net late on in Zagreb, it felt like they'd conceded late again. We'll be hoping not to concede late in this first half. Pinged ball out to the right by Portugal onto the chest of Conceição. Plays it short to Joao Cancelo, and now it's with Vitinha to Ronaldo. Side foots it back to the edge of the centre circle. And then Palhinha Then played out to Nuno Mendes on this near side. He's found Vitinha, stabs it to Bruno Fernandes. It's blocked and then clear by Hanley just as it was making its way through towards Ronaldo. And it's Ruben Dias who is in possession. Back to Nuno Mendes. And then played back to Ruben Dias. Plays it to Palhinha just outside the centre circle. Scotland dealing with it at the moment. Portugal have had loads of the ball and touching 70%, not far off that right now. Vitinha has it again. Back to Palhinha now with Ruben Dias. Flashes it out to this left-hand side for Nuno Mendes, who finds Ronaldo. Infield for Ruben Dias again. Square ball for Palhinha. Short to Antonio Silva. Everyone is in the Scottish half apart from Diogo Costa, and Portugal have it in the right. It's a chip ball into the area. Gordon had come and didn't get there. Scotland head away. Vitinha hits it in the 18-yard line, high over the bar, and it stays. Scotland 0, Portugal 0.
I mean, you can't help but just feel tense when you watch them in possession just now. Feels like a goal's coming, but it's just Portugal's quality. They'll be frustrated for the amount of possession, as you mentioned there, Liam. 70-odd% possession in this half and nothing really to show for it. Scotland still having the best chances of the game, but Fernandes just drops the ball down to Vitinha in the edge of the area. Probably similar in terms of the technique to Ryan Christie's chance earlier on in the half. Just gets too much on it though. Over the top of the crossbar, thankfully for Scotland.
You did worry there when you saw Craig Gordon come and get nowhere near it.
Yeah, he was underneath it, wasn't he? He just felt it was going to fall for Ronaldo, but Scotland sitting awfully deep as well, and we are doing well to frustrate them at times, but...
Oh, McTominay's just given
so
it to Bruno Fernandes. It's a ball flicked forward with the outside of the right boot. Ronaldo can't control though, and Hanley has it, knocks it up to Doak. And Ben Doak's on it, and he rolls it back to McLean, who finds Suter. I mean, Portugal have got a great team out. They should see their bench as well. My goodness. Dalot, Felix, the two Nieves, Bernardo Silva's on there, Rafael Leao. What a squad Roberto Martinez has, and it's because of that squad the expectation levels through the roof in Portugal. Won Euro 2016, but they were so disappointed with what went on in Germany, going out to France on penalties, but they were absolutely furious. As we go through the final minute of the 45 here, it's out to Ralston and headed out for a Portugal throw-in on this near side.
Yeah, I mean, for Scotland, when you look at that squad of players and you line up against it, and you know in the second half it can only get worse when the reinforcements come, and it's something we spoke about. Scotland don't have those reinforcements themselves just now. Pretty threadbare when it comes to the squad.
Conceição has it on the far side. Poland have pulled one back. It's now 3-2 to the Croatians in Warsaw. The Naradovi, where Scotland will be playing next month, and there's no stoppage time. Thank goodness, I think, in many ways. The two managers head up the tunnel down below us. Portugal have come here to play, and they have tested Craig Gordon. Just the once, though, really. Nuno Mendes with a free kick, right-hand side of the box. The best opportunities have come for the home team, despite the fact they've surrendered a lot of the ball. McTominay with a header on 4 minutes, looking to try and do what he did in Lisbon when he scored on 7. But he headed pretty much straight at Diogo Costa. Ryan Christie did likewise with a shot on 20. Then came the Mendes free kick. There's been loads of Portuguese attacking play. They've threatened on the left, they've threatened on the right, they've threatened centrally. Craig Gordon, though, really just with one excellent save. He's picked up a couple of cross balls and dealt with a couple of things. Been a couple of last-ditch challenges, putting things behind for corners. But so far, Scotland haven't conceded. They haven't scored either, though. And at half-time on Glasgow's south side, it is Scotland 0, Portugal 0.
Scotland in the UEFA Nations League.
Live on Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, live from the National Stadium here in Glasgow. Goalless at half-time in this Group A Nations League game between Scotland and Portugal. Total dominance, you'd have to say, from the away side, although we had a fantastic opportunity after just 5 minutes. Scott McTominay, a free header, but he couldn't beat the keeper. Let's get the thoughts of Tom English. He's alongside me here on the gantry. What have you made of it, Tom?
Well, I'm glad it's 0-0, but that's... That's it. Portugal haven't created many clear-cut chances, or any really clear-cut chances. Gordon hasn't had to be heroic. There's been a lot of pressure. And like if this was a boxing match, you'd say that Portugal have landed a lot of body shots. They have lots of softening up the opponent for an inevitable knockout later on. That's the kind of game it is. They're just on the front foot all the time. Lovely angles with Bruno Fernandes and Vitinha and Conceição, always threatening, always threatening, but haven't scored. Scotland defended very well, I think, giving the ball away constantly. Their own worst enemy in that regard, but they're under ferocious pressure. And you know, if they put a bit of risk into the game, if they do get the ball and they put a bit of risk into the game, they're fearful that that's going to cost them at the other end, because this is a counter-attacking team to be very fearful of. So right now, look, half-time, 0-0, you take that. You're taking it full-time as well.
Willie, what's it like when you play in a game like this, where it's wave after wave of attack?
And you're watching the opposition and you're admiring them, because you've got to, I mean, I take you back, early 80s, we played Porto, and it was the same thing. They put us out in the semi-final, it was, in the Cup Winners' Cup. And it was, you come off the pitch in both games, admiring their ability and the quality. And you're watching them there, and, you know, Vitinha in the midfield has been outstanding. I mean, he's just controlled the midfield. He's been the main man. He goes and he gets it, picks it up. I don't think he's given one bad pass in the first half, and he's just controlling that midfield area. So it's a difficult shift for Scotland, but the good news is that they haven't scored, and we're looking pretty organised and you know, not under too much pressure at the back. I think we're pleased that Ronaldo's actually playing, because he hasn't shown any of the quality that he used to have. Not yet, anyway. Might be early to say that, but has he really? Has he done anything to disrupt the overhead centre back?
The overhead kick. Well, not that, but the overhead kick I thought was a nice moment.
Yeah, it was. It's one of these ones that he didn't have to move. The ball's just coming to him, and
he doesn't move a whole lot.
Like, he doesn't. But that's what I'm saying, Tom. He's not shifting the two centre backs, and easy night for our two centre backs, and everything else is in front of them. So there hasn't been too much for you know, Suter and Hanley to have to deal with, really. A lot of good wide play. The ball, you know, from Portugal, they shift it really well. They get the width. You know, Mendes down one side, Cancelo down the other side as well, and it's really difficult for Scotland to get close to them. In fact, I don't think that Steve Clarke wants them to get close to the opposition. They don't want to press them. I think they just want to play that low block, allow them to have plenty of the ball, you know, and be organised and disciplined at the back. And so far it's working, but when we get the ball, we just don't use it. We give it away too easily, and that's not good enough. And even when we get, you know, into the final third, some of the deliveries for Kenny McLean a couple of times, you know, been poor. The best chance of the game, I mean, are you going to get a better opportunity, McTominay, than the one
I
that
hope so. But
he should have scored.
He should have scored.
It's an amazing chance for him. I mean, all he has to do is get it either side of the goalkeeper, and it's a goal. He just heads it, you know, straight for Costa, and it's an easy take for him. And Kenny McLean's strike, no, it was Christie that had the strike, wasn't it? That was straight to the goalkeeper as well. So two decent opportunities. That's about all we've had. It's been really chasing our tails and admiring the quality that Portugal have brought. But the good news is it's 0-0. We're still in the game, and if a game goes on like this, then, you know, I could see us not conceding, because you haven't really created opportunities.
Yeah, but if the game continues
they can make changes.
They can make changes. And that's where their big, bad, scary bench appears, really. And look at what they have there. I mean, it's just wow.
Yeah, so much strength and depth for Roberto Martinez to turn to in the second half. Leanne, what do you think Steve Clarke will be thinking about right now? Sorry, I just noticed you just took a bite of a sandwich. Tom, will you answer that?
I'm busy laughing at Leanne. Our mouthful of food.
I'll tell you what, she can't get much more in there. What a bad timing.
Just wait till I finish, Billy, and I'll come in for you.
You were hidden. Sorry, Leanne, I didn't see you there.
What was the question again? I've forgotten in all this mirth.
Steve Clarke, what is he thinking right now?
He's thinking that they're not good enough in possession, Scotland, when they win the ball back. And I think there's a kind of, people talk about players being brave on the ball, but that can only take you so far. You need to have options and movement off the ball, and because we're so deep when we do win the ball back, it's literally only Shea Adams that's up there, because the other midfield players have been dragged in to help out. So it becomes very difficult, and on a few occasions it has knocked to Shea Adams, and he hasn't really linked it or dealt with it. In that situation, you need the striker ability to hold on to the ball for a good few seconds to be able to then allow midfield runners to get up and support. Even then, you're still kind of in your own half at that point. It's not like he's receiving the ball 30 yards from the opposition goal, so it's so congested for us when we win the ball back. That's been the biggest issue for us, the quality on the ball when we do regain possession and get a turnover. It's been miles off it, and it's difficult to sit here and say it should be better, because they are under relentless pressure. They're having to drop deep. Willie's right, the two centre-halves haven't had to that movement kind of in behind them, or there's not really been anything in front of them pocket-wise. They're moving it side to side an awful lot, which they're doing incredibly well. They have put some good deliveries into the box, but they're quite comfortable with the play being in front of them, dragging back the midfielders to block the kind of wee channels, if you like, and there's nothing going in behind them so much. So whilst you're set like that, and Tom's possibly right as well, 0-0, they haven't really had. It's not like Craig Gordon's been overworked here in any situation. So I think they'll be pleased defensively. I think out of possession shape, pleased to a certain extent, but in possession, miles off it.
Is there tactically, Leanne, anything that he can do to affect change in this game?
I think it might be a change up top, if I'm being honest. I've touched on it in commentary. I don't think it's been a tough night for Adams, because there's been very little inside the penalty area for him to go and attack, because Scotland have not created. But I think we can all accept that your job as a Scotland striker is always going to be above and beyond taking goal chances and being in front of goal. He's got to do more for the team, and when he's out of possession, McTominay's always with him as a two. I've mentioned that. It's a 4-4-2, so it's not like he's working the width of the pitch on his own in terms of the shape. For me, he's got to do more when Scotland win the ball back. I don't know what he wants, because when Scotland win the ball back, he's not ball side. He's not playing in a channel for Scotland to feed the ball to. Maybe he's been asked to stay central, I don't know, but I just feel the distance between the midfield, where at times Kenny McLean and Billy Gilmour have picked the ball up, to them where Shea Adams is. You're talking that there's 50-60 yards still between the players. So I think up top there's got to be a different approach. There's got to be a different out ball for Scotland. I've mentioned, and Tom was touched on it, in the way that we're looking to move the ball. Far too many turnovers, far too transitional, playing under pressure. There's got to be a wee bit more mindfulness, and I think being a bit more savvy about how you play against top opposition to get yourself up the pitch. Ryan Christie did it after only a couple of minutes in the game. He's drawing smart fouls, he's getting in front of players, using his body. I think we need a wee bit more of that from Adams up top, just to give Scotland an opportunity to get a bit of momentum higher up the pitch, and that's then where I believe Scotland can carry a goal threat. Willie's right, he's touched on the McTominay chance. He's got to score it, he does everything right. The delivery's there, the timing of the run's right. He's got to put it either side of the goalkeeper in Scotland. They've got their noses in front, but for as long as it stays like this, I think Steve Clarke will be happy. We've spoken about the goals that Scotland have conceded, late goals more so than not, but I think the structure has been good. They've defended the penalty area really well. Portugal have had a number of corners as well, different variations to that corner routine as well, whether it's gone short, come off the right, come off the left, and so far Scotland have dealt with everything that's been thrown at them. But there is strength and depth to this Portugal side, so it won't get any easier. So Scotland need to try and come up with something before the tough gets tougher.
Yeah, it's so far so good, Willie, but it is hard to envisage that they can hang on here. If these attacks continue, obviously there's not many clear-cut chances, but at some point they're going to cut us wide open, aren't they?
Well, they haven't looked like it, Kenny, though. That's all I would say. Everything's in front of our defence. In fact, everything's in front of our team, because it's a team effort to defend, isn't it? You know, right from Shea Adams right back to Craig Gordon in goal. Well, Craig's not really had much to do. You know, he took control of the set piecing. It was a corner, wasn't it? And he punched it out. Other than that, nothing, great to trouble him. So you're just hoping that it will continue that way. But, you look at the bench, you look at the changes they can make, and the likelihood is that Martinez is going to go to his pool and bring on players that might disrupt the two centre-backs. And as I said, I think Ronaldo's a bit of a passenger in that first half watching him. I think he certainly lost that initial little burst of pace, and he's only too happy to go away into midfield and maybe pick the ball up and have a little pass. But as far as we're concerned, we've got to try and find a way of playing that's going to try to disrupt him. When we get the ball, keep the ball, have our midfield players a little bit more comfortable and confident. Billy Gilmour hasn't really been in the game. Kenny McLean giving the ball away on too many occasions. Ben Doak, you haven't seen him at all. Che Adams been a very, very lonely figure up there and really has done nothing to hold the ball up and give the team an opportunity to get out.
I wonder, Willie, what the tactical reasoning is for Doak to be in the left and Christie on the right, because looking at it, I think both players out of possession can do that same job that they're doing. But I feel like Doak would be much more effective in this right-hand side when he gets the ball going down the outside. It doesn't look to me like he is actually overly comfortable looking to receive it and coming in the pitch.
I think that's a word, comfortable. I think you've got to get players in an area where they are comfortable. He is a young player as well, and you would hope that would be a part of the discussion at half-time. Okay, we're not getting... What can we do to change this? And is it better that he's on the right-hand side where he's more comfortable and he's got the ball and he might be a ball carrier that gets you up the park? We need something like that. We need to be able to get someone on the ball, whether it's Christie or Doak, to actually get us up the park, because we're just not, moving in the right direction.
Jim Newlands, Tom, has been in touch. He's one of the Scotland fans that joined us on Saturday. He says, have I been watching a different game to you guys? Total dominance, wave after wave of attack. I thought we've been really decent. I've seen plenty of games who have really been under the cosh, according to Jim. This isn't one of those.
Well,
he has been watching a different game.
Yeah, I think he has. Like Portugal haven't created loads of chances to go with all their possession, but they've had all the possession. It has been wave of possession, not wave of chances and shots on Craig Gordon's goal.
It's impossible to say we've not been dominated in that.
Maybe,
come on.
Maybe he's watching a different game. I don't know. But they're hanging in there. But do we have high hopes that they can do this again for another 45 minutes with Portugal's bench being inserted into the equation as well? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to be difficult, Tom, isn't it? I mean, it was a difficult first 45. Maybe if McTominay would have taken that opportunity, it might have been a little bit better. But then again, it might just have angered them, and they might have upped the pace as well. They've totally dominated the ball. Scotland have really struggled to cope with them. But I think that has been the tactic. I think the manager has sent them out to, play a deep game, to, defend from maybe 20 yards to the halfway line. And that's how it looks to me anyway.
It's a mid-block, really. It's 4-4-2. Cover the width of the pitch, pass on runners, keep them in the outside. You don't allow them to play through you and defend the box when they do eventually get there. And I think Scotland, maybe he touched on what Jim's saying, that Scotland have ticked those boxes and what's been asked of them, and they've managed to stand resilient, but they have been dominated all over the pitch. There's no doubt. And
they haven't done enough when they won possession back. I think that's a big problem when you're playing at this level. When you get the ball back, you've got to keep it. You've got to try to keep it for a little period of time, and they've constantly given it away. Well, they don't have too many options, actually. It isn't as though we're seeing, when we do have the ball, nice little patterns. There's been maybe 2 or 3 occasions where they've put a string of passes together, but other than that, the use of the ball has been poor. So I think Steve Clarke's got to try to find an answer to that. Whether he'll go to the bench and make the change early or not, time will tell. But he will be contented that the goal really hasn't been peppered, that they haven't created, too many opportunities. It's still 0-0 at half-time. So that'll be the positive side for him. That'll be interesting to see if he does go to the bench and make changes early.
Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo leading the Portugal players out for the start of this second half, and the Scotland players coming out down below us as well. Now Craig Gordon there, McTominay, what a chance that was after just 5 minutes. You would have bet anything on him to score, particularly with the form he's been in, but he just couldn't find the back of the net. But so far, so good here at the National Stadium. Let's get back to commentary, second half commentary. Scotland against Portugal in the Nations League with Willie Miller, Leanne Crichton, Stephen Thompson and Liam McLeod.
Well, Scotland winless in each of their last 9 competitive matches, 3 draws, 6 defeats, the longest such streak in their history. They've lost 4 in a row for the first time since October 2019. And they're currently on a run, as I say, of those 4 straight defeats, the 6th time it's happened. Happened in 1965, 1973, 2002, 2003, and those 4 matches in 2019. Double headers against the Russians and the Belgians early in the Steve Clarke tenure. Portugal are going to kick off the second half in their change kit. The all light blue and white with the black flashes going from left to right towards the east end of Hampden. Scotland in the navy blue and yellow towards Mount Florida, and it's played back immediately to Diogo Costa. No changes for either team, and it looks as though Ben Doak is starting out on the left-hand side again. As Scotland try and win it over on the far side, Portugal have it, but the ref has blown for a free kick there for Scotland for a foul just to the right-hand side of centre, midway inside their own half. So Scotland with Gordon in goal, Ralston, Souttar, Hanley and Robertson, Gilmour and McLean, Doak, McTominay, Christie and Adams. Portugal, Diogo Costa in goal, Cancelo, Diaz, Silva, Mendes, the back, Fernandes, Palhinha and Vitinha, with Conceição and Jota either side of Ronaldo. It's all very interchangeable for the visitors though, as that goes out of play for a throw-in on the far side for Portugal, level with the edge of the D of their own box. And it's Nuno Mendes who's over it. So Doak starting on the left the second half. No immediate change there yet, Leanne.
No, it doesn't look like there's any change in terms of the structure at all. And it is an interesting one. I mean, I can only assume there is a real tactical decision behind it, whether it is out of possession, the job he's been asked to do, or whether it's perhaps they just feel he's maybe get the better at Cancelo when he gets the ball. But the reality is Doak's not had enough of the ball to really go and test the Portuguese back line and get at them. I've not seen him in a foot race with anybody yet, so I've got no idea of what that test looks like for him. You would hope in this second half though the message will be in possession. Can we do better? Can we keep the ball for a bit longer when we go long periods without it? And can we look to carry that threat up top in the opening minute and 40 seconds? I've not seen that yet.
No, Portugal took centre and they are still in possession. The only respite in these early exchanges, Scotland did get the free kick and gave it away immediately, and it's Portugal who have it with João Palhinha, turns it to the left for Ruben Diaz, low ball to Nuno Mendes on the far side, and then back to Diaz, who goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. Diogo Costa flashes it to Antonio Silva, the right-hand side of his box. Long ball for Ronaldo, little chest down. They are trying to get João Cancelo involved. He can't really get it under control, but there's Robertson giving it away. And it's picked up by Vitinha. It's a long ball, left-hand side of the Scotland box. Diogo Jota's onto it. Fernandes is in the middle, comes back to Ronaldo, heads it over, left of the penalty spot. What a chance. What a chance it was, and Cristiano Ronaldo flung himself at it, the whole goal to aim for, and he puts it over. That's a major let-off for Scotland, and in particular the captain Andy Robertson, who gave it away.
100%. I mean, you know, again, it comes from a mistake from one of our more experienced players, our captain, giving the ball away in the middle of the park. The pass through is brilliant, the cutback is brilliant. Ronaldo's on the penalty spot. I wondered whether he should have taken a touch and set himself. He goes for the diving header, which would have been speculative, but it gets it all wrong and over the bar. I mean, I was just expecting the net to be bulging there.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he could take a touch as well. It looked to me like he had the entirety of the penalty area to himself, with a player with his ability, but he looks to try and actually put it right into the top corner, and that's why he gets far too much on the header. And thankfully again for Scotland it goes over the bar, and for Andy Robertson's sake, but there's just far too many of those mistakes in the middle of the pitch, looking to try and play when you win the ball back. And I don't know why tonight, because I've seen Scotland do it and do it much better than they are tonight. So many misplaced passes, breakdown in communication, too many turnovers.
Scotland have it. Adams firing it out to the right for Ralston. He's taking it forward up to the midway point of the Portugal half. Leaves it for Christie, who was the goal scorer in Zagreb on Saturday. Now into the midfield for Gilmour. If anyone can keep the ball, Gilmour can, and it's with McTominay who gets it from Ralston back to Gilmour, who finds McLean. Gilmour again, goes back into his own half for Souttar. Shifts it right to left of the circle for Hanley, out to this near side, low ball for Robertson. Robertson forward to Doak, his Liverpool clubmate, albeit Doak on loan at Middlesbrough. He's managed to shimmy away from a couple of challenges, and then he's brought crashing to the ground by João Palhinha. He's going to be booked, the Bayern Munich man, and that's the first time Ben Doak sprung to life this evening. Really good footwork from him. He drew the foul, wins the free kick, and it's in a promising position as well.
Yeah, really good play from Doak and Andy Robertson, linking up, just 1 and 2 touch passes, really tight area, getting themselves out of trouble. And when the game opens up, that's where Hampden comes to life, when they see Ben Doak on the ball. Good footwork. I actually thought the referee was going to give a foul initially, and it was as blatant as they come. But much more positive from Doak in this left-hand side.
And Doak winning the free kick. It's Gilmour and Robertson who are over it. It's left by Gilmour. Robertson takes. It's a good delivery, but it's Diogo Costa who punches it away. There was a foul in the box by a Scotland player. So it all comes to absolutely nothing. And after 5 second half minutes, it stays nothing each.
But yeah, Leanne's right. I mean, you could hear the crowd there when Ben Doak got the ball and he faced up a defender. We need to get him in a position where he's able to do that more often. When he's been receiving the ball in the first half with this back to play, 50 yards away from goal, if you can get him on the ball facing defenders, he'll cause problems.
Ronaldo keeping it in play in the near side. Infield, it comes to Conceição, who's at his, looked like he had his feet taken from him from where we were. It was McLean's challenge. The ref had a better view than us. Says no free kick, and it's Doak knocking it back the way McLean isn't onto it. Conceição is, reverses it to Ronaldo, pulls it back to Conceição, and he flashes his effort high and wide. And it stays Scotland 0, Portugal 0. Well, I think it's the right idea by Ben Doak, but he's put it back into a position where if his teammate's not on it, he's in trouble, and he was.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, a real breakdown in communication and quality in the pass. The Scotland players, you can't fault them for wanting to keep the ball, but it's just the manner in which they're losing it and the areas of the pitch that they're losing it as well. I mean, as this goes on, you actually start to believe now that
well, you've got to think that Portugal's finishing will improve, because that was another big chance from, 16 yards, something you'd expect a technical player like that to hit the target, flashing it 20 metres high and wide of the goal. But what we can't do is keep giving them the ball so easily for them to kind of break on us like that. I mean, the ball possession and the mistakes on the ball have been really high tonight.
Yeah, I mean, for Scotland, when you look at the areas as well, it actually looks as if Portugal are just trying to walk the ball into the net, though. The chances are coming round that frequently now in terms of the mistakes from Scotland that they're just feeding off of.
Conceição with the ball into the Scotland box from the right, takes a touch off Robertson, favours Kenny McLean. Ronaldo, or rather Joao Cancelo, crashes into the back of him. That'll be a free kick to Scotland, not far outside their own penalty box. 52 in, 0-0. Scotland trying to keep the Portuguese at bay. Last time, they failed to score against both Slovenia and France in the knockout stages of the World Cup finals. They won the Slovenia one on penalties. A memorable match for their goalkeeper Diogo Costa, saving all those penalties, but then went out to the French after another goalless draw. What was a disappointing European Championship. They'd big designs on winning it before losing to the French in Hamburg. And Scotland have the ball. Portugal giving it away this time. Robertson on the left, pushing it out to the left-hand touchline for Doak. Infield to Robertson, back to Doak, and now with McLean, who then fires it into the Peter Robertson on the left-hand side. McLean continues his run. Robertson uses him as a decoy, and in the box it comes. Adams gets a slight touch onto it, run about the penalty spot, but it's going to go behind for the goal kick. A claiming corner. It looked like a goal kick from here. And the Scotland supporters over there perhaps have a better view of it than we did, but it was a promising little move by the Scots this time, but they can't take advantage of it, and it stays Scotland 0, Portugal 0 at Hampden.
Yeah, good play, forward passes, forward runs. Kenny McLean in the thick of it this time. Andy Robertson, the provider, with a delivery from the left-hand side, and Scotland seemed adamant it should have been a corner over on that far side. We didn't get a great look at it, but it does look like the final touch could have come off Nuno Mendes, much to the frustration of the Tartan Army.
Ronaldo on the near side. Doak is all over him, and he was pulling his jersey, and Ronaldo simply stops playing and waits for the free kick to be awarded, which it truly is.
He's reffing the game.
It's embarrassing, isn't it?
There was a pull in his jersey, but it's the fact he decides this is a foul.
Joao Cancelo down the right-hand side. Doak trying to stick with him. Still no breakthrough here. Obviously Poland coming back to within one goal just before half-time against Croatia. It remains 3-2 to Croatia in Warsaw. Zalewski, who scored the late penalty here, that won the game for Poland, got their second. Here is Bruno Fernandes down the left-hand side, and Mendes up against Ralston, looking for space to cross. He's on the left, dances away from Ralston down to the byline. That's gone over the line, surely. It has done, flags up. Ronaldo back heels it into the net anyway for good measure, just to prove he can still do it. Even he has been doing it on a regular basis this season, both in Saudi Arabia and for his national team, having netted in all 3 Nations League games so far.
Felt for a horrible second there. Tony Ralston was going to dangle his foot in. He was very much thinking about it, wasn't he?
Traditional penalty.
With Mendes going by him to the line, he just pulls out.
Yeah, you put the hands up in the air as well. So it's amazing the number of players that trip an opponent and put the hands up in the air as if that exonerates them of all guilt. It is Portugal in possession with Bruno Fernandes, who fires it out wide right on this near side for Conceição. He's in space. Robertson is facing him now. Conceição's cross takes a deflection. It's hooked away by Doak. Portugal will come again, albeit it's a terrible pass by Antonio Silva, who puts it straight out into touch on this near side. Scotland have a throw in. It's goalless at Hampden. We've played 55 and a half.
Just seems to be a night for Portugal as well. The quality for them, as much as they've dominated possession, the final end product is so poor, which is a good thing for Scotland. But I don't understand, Tom, maybe you can make sense of it, but the build up from Scotland, where it's a short pass to then go long, but it's the only point in the game they decide to go long and turn the ball over, when virtually Portugal have every player behind the ball, and there's no success. It's long balls to Ryan Christie up front and Ben Doak. I just don't understand it.
It's not been working. I mean, you wonder when there will be a change, if Steve Clarke is looking to make a change. I mean, we have been slightly better this second half in terms of creating or getting it into Portugal's final
higher up the pitch.
Yeah. Scotland fans get just a little bit frustrated when they do flirt with the attacking third. The ball tends to go back or sideways.
It's when the ball gets to Ben Doak, he gets a pass and he bounces it, and they're just waiting to get up off their seats.
There's McTominay charging to the edge of the Portugal box, lays it to Christie, tried to stab it to Robertson, went it straight to the defender, and Portugal come away with it with Conceição. That was a really promising moment for Scotland as Conceição dramatically hits the deck. No free kick though. Vitinha picks it up and switches it to Nuno Mendes.
And hits it.
I think he could have. I mean, it was cute, and I could understand what he was trying to do, because the game's opening right up in the left-hand side, but it's a good chance also. He's got to step on and take the chance that presents itself.
Big switch from Bruno Fernandes this time, and Doak heads it out for a throw-in. Conceição behind him. He's the little Portuguese winger who takes it quickly and bowls it back to Antonio Silva, and now it's with Palhinha. Out to this right-hand side, Conceição. Getting it from Joao Cancelo. He's now level with the penalty spot. Tormenting Robertson, gets the ball in, it's blocked. And only momentarily, Gilmour's lost out in the second phase of play there. And then Conceição's ball across is cut out by Hanley. And behind for a Portugal corner. Their first of the second half. 0-0 it remains at the National Stadium.
He's getting a lot of the ball, as Conceição on this right-hand side. But yeah, Leanne's right. You know, when he does get there, the final quality of pass, the final delivery hasn't been good. I wonder if, I don't want to tempt fate, but if you're Martinez, you're probably looking at the bench going, right,
just shortly,
maybe make a wee change here.
It's not a bad cast list on there. Bruno Fernandes will take this corner, right-footed out swinger. Oh, he's hit the post. And then bounces straight out for a goal kick. It's actually worked out well for Scotland, but he is looking at the bench. And Bernardo Silva and I think Rafael Leao are going to be on in just a moment. Two fabulous footballers. And there'll be different challenges Scotland will face. Bernardo Silva is just a fabulous footballer. We've got a few of them on the bench, let alone out there on the pitch just now. But it's no surprise, because the second half followed the same flow as the first for Roberto Martinez.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, the second half has perhaps been a little bit worse for Portugal. They've not quite dominated the ball as much. Scotland have had a little bit more success in gaining territory higher up the pitch.
Another wasted ball forward, yes. Leanne there.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it, because we're not playing to... I can understand us making mistakes and giving the ball away in the middle third when we're looking to try and play and utilise the quality, the likes of Gilmours and McLean's and McTominay's, but the long ball just aimlessly up the pitch.
They're bringing Ruben Neves on as well as Silva and Leao. Quality after quality. As Conceição picks up and rolls it back the way. either Diogo Jota or Conceição will be coming off. I'd imagine Conceição will be staying on. He's certainly been a constant thorn down this near side. Ralston under pressure, gets it in field to Suter on the far side. His ball forward goes straight back into Portuguese possession. The shape this time of Ruben Dias. Scotland win it back quickly, and they're going to get a free kick as well. Adams goes down, and that triple change for Portugal is coming. Who's he taking off, though? I mean, sometimes you see it domestically with Celtic, for example, just bringing quality on to replace the starting players. But I mean, these three down there,
ridiculous, isn't
I mean, they could easily be starting. If Portugal reach a World Cup final, those three would start.
No, you're spot on. Real quality, real strength and depth to the side. A privilege to watch the players in front of us tonight as well. So much quality. Let's hope, though, they come on the same output that the players going off have so far shown.
Well, the ones that are coming off are Palhinha, Jota and Conceição. Manchester City's Bernardo Silva comes on. You know what he can do. Ruben Neves is in Saudi Arabia with Al Hilal. He plays with the likes of Neymar, Mitrovic, and his teammate tonight, Cancelo. And Rafael Leao of AC Milan comes on too. In the case of Bernardo Silva, this is his 97th cap. Craig Gordon out to this near side, long ball to Robertson. Up to Doak, but he can't keep it in play. Really difficult. Two Portuguese players around him. So he's totally unable to control that, and it goes out for a throw-in. The Portuguese, to be fair to them, Scotland have been loose with the ball in possession. Portugal have strangled the game really well when Scotland, the rare occasions they've had it, 0-0 and 61.5.
Yeah, even in moments that Portugal have lost the ball, you're right, that they're all over Scotland. They're forcing the mistakes as much as Scotland are also making errors all over the pitch. But I do think that Scotland can be a bit tidier in the build, and too many longer, needlessly long passes to Ben Doak, certainly not his strengths, not the quality that he can bring. I just think you look at Portugal, who've dominated the game, and they've looked to change things at 60 minutes and bring on three players, a bit of freshness. Scotland given absolutely everything on Saturday. I think we might need to do the same.
Well, he made just the two changes, didn't he, on Saturday, and perhaps that kind of underlines the paucity of what he's got to deal with just now. Steve Clarke. McLean with the pirouette. He's lost out to Vitinha, though. And Ruben Neves finds Bernardo Silva. Now Bruno Fernandes wide in the right's got space. Sells the defender the dummy and then dinks it in with the outside of the boot. It's deflected and headed away by McLean. Poor ball by Antonio Silva. Straight to his opposite number 4, McTominay. Stretching his legs up to halfway. Christie's pass forwards cut out, and then he fouls Nuno Mendes, and that will be a free kick over there.
It's been a tough night, is Christie. He's worked hard enough, but his quality on the ball hasn't been there this evening.
Bruno Fernandes has it, and he, under pressure from Christie, turns it back to Nuno Mendes and out to Rafael Leao on the far side. He was running amok in the first half, in particular in Lisbon last month. There's Bernardo Silva over on this near side. He's nowhere near as effective for his country playing on the right where he is at the moment, and as he did last month. Obviously, fabulous central player with Manchester City. And Vitinha collects to Joao Cancelo. Back to Vitinha. Short ball to Ruben Neves, who rolls it back to Ruben Dias. Again, everyone bar the Portugal goalkeeper in the Scotland half. 0-0 here on Sports Sound and BBC Radio Scotland. Nations League match day 4. 3-2 Croatia in the other game in Poland. Doak's done brilliantly there in defence, but the pass is wayward again, and Ruben Neves picks up, crosses in with the right foot. Ralston will have to deal with it with Leao behind him, and he does. Christie picks up on the far side touchline. Where's he going? He's gone down. The referee's whistle's not coming this time, and Portugal have it with Leao attacking the left angle of the box. He's inside the area now. Leao's ball across is cut out. McLean just unceremoniously boots it away. It's such a struggle. Scotland 0, Portugal 0. They're holding firm just now, though.
The amount of times that Portugal have got in behind us or into really good areas, especially from wide areas, and picked the wrong pass or had the pass intercepted, it's been incredible.
Change is coming for Scotland. Ryan Gould's going to be on in a moment. Portugal are attacking again here, though. Disguised ball in the box. Chance here for Ronaldo, but his attempt is cut out by Ralston. Scotland give it away again. the unforced error count is huge tonight. Here's Leao on the far side. Christie's slide challenge. Still Leao has it. He's in the box, looking for a teammate. Ronaldo's dummy. Gilmour slips it away. And now McLean charges out of defence, is tripped and wins the free kick. That's better. And that just allows the defenders to take a little bit of a breather as we tick towards the 65-minute mark. Scotland 0, Portugal 0. Ryan Gauld and Lewis Morgan, the two players based in North America. Gauld with Vancouver Whitecaps in Canada, playing the MLS, and Lewis Morgan will come on playing his football, the New York Red Bulls. And it's the stateside players who are being called upon here. You'd imagine Kenny McLean might be one of those to take his leave of absence here. We shall see.
Both goal scorers, both talented players. Lewis, obviously, I played with him at St Mirren. Really quick. Good in both feet, can finish.
Yeah, and both relatively latecomers to the squad. Lewis Morgan made it in time for the European Championship. Many felt Gauld should be there. Scotland come forward. McTominay, right-hand side of the Portugal box. He's inside it now, looking for space up against Ruben Neves. He at least wins a Scotland corner. And this might be their best bet, you know.
Yeah, good play from Scott McTominay. I actually thought he was marginally offside, so best outcome is a corner just now, but just getting in behind, what you like to see, probably the first time in this half. Scott McTominay's been the player to go beyond and get beyond.
First corner of the match for Scotland comes on 66 minutes. They're going to wait for this corner before making the changes. There's good positive play by McTominay there. He's not had too many opportunities to do that as the corner is swung in. Diogo Costa pats it away under pressure, and the ref didn't like Hanley's challenge on him, and that will be a free kick to Portugal inside their own box. It remains 0-0 at Hampden, and the changes for Scotland are being made. Ben Doak is coming off. And I think McLean looks as though he is the other. It's been difficult for Doak to get into the game. We have seen flashes every now and again, but it's just so difficult, Stephen, for him to be able to make any kind of serious impact on it.
I think so, and I think, you know, a lot of the time, as I mentioned earlier, when he has received the ball tonight, it's been with his back to play, not where he can go and take players on and face people up and go and be creative. He's been forced back the pitch, and very limited service to him as well. We've not managed to get him into the game or onto the ball, so a frustrating night for him, but a night he'll learn from, no doubt.
McLean staying on, incidentally. It's Ryan Christie's coming off. Gauld and Morgan come on. And seen briefly what Ryan Gauld can do. He's got the final quarter of this one to try and impress. Of course, had that spell in Portugal, lengthy spell in Portugal, who have given it away at the edge of their own box. Here's Adams. They've got defenders back behind him, though. He's facing away from goal, rolls it to Robertson. Wide left for Gauld. Once of Sporting Club, Toria Setebul as well, as Robertson takes it down towards the corner flag, and he's looking to try and win a corner, but Portugal deal with it. The little back heel from Joao Cancelo. He gets it back immediately from Bernardo Silva, and it's cleared. McLean under pressure on this near side from Bruno Fernandes, where he has it, but it's given away yet again. Vitinha picks it up towards the edge of the centre circle and rolls it to Nuno Mendes. 68 on the clock. Scotland 0, Portugal 0.
I would genuinely struggle to remember a game like this, that both sets of players have given the ball away under little amount of pressure. Simple passes, 10-yard passes, just constantly wrong side of each other. Incredible.
Well, the good news, in particular, well, Lewis Morgan obviously can play a bit as well, but Ryan Gould's use of the ball is fabulous, and he's done well there to win a throw-in down in front of us. He knows a few members of the Portugal team that came through the Sporting Academy. And the throw-in from Robertson bounces off McTominay and back into Portuguese possession. And there's Ruben Neves turning it back into his own half, left of the circle for Nuno Mendes. Now it's with Vitinha. He's scampering forward. He's got two out to the right, uses one in Bernardo Silva, takes it into the Scotland penalty area, rolls it wide right for Joao Cancelo. In comes the cross, which is flicked away. Leao controls it, turns it back to Nuno Mendes. Out to the left-hand side for Leao, and then to Mendes. He's going to get it back immediately here. Side steps away from Adams, out to Leao on that far side. Lays it back the way. Portugal trying to find a way through here. Craig Gordon made a save from Nuno Mendes in the first half from a free kick. He's not had too many saves of note since then. Portugal trying to change that here. It's Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side. Ball played low, back to Bruno Fernandes. Two stalwarts of this team. Bernardo Silva to the right angle of the penalty area. Joao Cancelo finds Vitinha. Scotland trying to hold firm at the back here under intense pressure. Vitinha has it, changes pace, passes it to Bruno Fernandes. Now it's with Bernardo Silva. Back to Ruben Neves, and then to the left for Mendes. Scotland can't get the ball. And it's keep ball for Portugal right now. Joao Cancelo wide in the right, gets his cross in, but it's poor. Too much on it. Sails behind for a goal kick on the other side of the goal frame. And with 20 of the 90 to play, it stays Scotland 0, Portugal 0. And if Scotland are going to finish in third spot in this group, which from this point would probably be a result, we discussed this in the first half, they can beat Poland, but they need to beat them by more than one goal if they're going to finish by third. But I'm just hearing that's gone 3-3 in Warsaw, as that ball comes back the way to Craig Gordon, who clears. Just about to say, if Scotland can hold on even for a point this evening, that could help in that battle. But Poland taking something tonight was not in that script. Here's Rafael Leao on the far side. There's two balls in the pitch though, so they're going to have to do a bounce ball, I think, or at least retake the throw-in over on the far side. Rafael Leao is having a go at the Belgian referee over there, Lawrence Visser. But it is still 0-0. Turn back left to the centre circle for Ruben Dias. Every Scotland player behind the ball. Nuno Mendes has it now. Knocked forward to Vitinha, then to Mendes, into the centre circle for Ruben Dias, who finds Antonio Silva. Out it comes to Cancelo on this near side. Gold comes to meet him. Low ball, side foot infield to Vitinha. Looks up at the box. He's got to just outside the attacking third of the pitch. Back to Neves, and then out to Cancelo. Gives it back to Neves. And the ball is flicked to Mendes on the left as they try and switch it. Then pass back to Ruben Dias. You can see Portugal, they're trying to find space by dragging the Scottish defenders around as Joao Cancelo picks up on this near side. Finds Silva at the right angle of the box. Lays it to Vitinha. Just outside the D. Again, everyone behind them. Scotland so deep right now. It's back out to Cancelo. He's looking to get back onto it. The little give and go. He's chasing after it. He slides in. He's trying to get back on the ball. Gold gets it half away. Now it's with Bernardo Silva. Bends it towards the back post. Nobody can get there in Portugal colours. And he goes behind for the goal kick as Ronaldo frantically waves his hands at the 6-yard line to say that's where it should have gone. It stays Scotland 0, Portugal 0. I actually think he's saying that that's where the
Leo should be.
Yeah, that's where Leo should have been. He's blocked the defender, Ronaldo feels, and he should have had an overload at the back area. But look, for as nice as it is to watch Portugal dominate the ball and their use of the ball and hemming Scotland in, Scotland don't actually need to go and chase the ball or step out of areas, because the quality from the Portuguese has just been nowhere near it for the amount of possession that they've had. So I'm surprised that Martinez is accepting this as a performance now, because as the minutes tick on, you would really have expected Portugal to hit another level and get to a new a different type of outcome in the second half, and it's just not happened. But credit to Scotland again, because it is concentration, it is staying in your shape, it's being disciplined, it's not just following the ball, it's following the players and listening to the communication across the back line and the midfield line. So far very disciplined. Scotland's only clean sheet since last September was against Gibraltar in Faro. If they can keep one against Portugal this evening, that will do them the world of good. 16 and a half to play.
There's no doubt they've defended well, Liam.
Yeah, but it's the shape. The shapes, they look more comfortable in this shape.
I'd agree with that, but I think, at times they've defended really well. They've made it difficult for Portugal to try and break them down, but Portugal kind of overplay for me at times as well. They're just popping it around when we're set in our shape. And
hold on, no, 2-on-2, would you believe? Ryan Gauld attacking. Adams to his left. He finds him at the edge of the box. Portugal flooding back in numbers. Momentum taken away. It's out wide right to Morgan. Morgan then whips it across. Adams pulls it back. McTominay misses his chance. Fresh air. And Gauld can't get onto it because Bruno Fernandes was in the right place at the right time, and it stays 0-0. Scottish eyes were lighting up there all of a sudden, but here come Portugal. Fabulous ball, whipped out to Rafa Leao on the left-hand side of the box. Pulls it back for Vitinha. Well defended though by McLean. And Scotland clear through Morgan, and it stays 0-0.
Yeah, it's a brilliant passage play from Scotland. Good numbers in terms of that counter-attacking football. 2-on-2. I actually thought the option was going to be to the right-hand side where Lewis Morgan was making up great ground. It eventually does find him, and he digs out a brilliant cross.
Here he goes, Leao again down the left, gets his cross in. It comes off Suter's head onto the roof of the net, and Portugal have their latest corner. Let's get a word with Willie Miller with just over 15 to play at 0-0. Willie?
Well, it's been a long second half, isn't it, in terms of Scotland having to defend, and the concentration levels have been really high. A little opportunity there on the break. McTominay, but unfortunate. I think the ball just fell the wrong side of him.
Short corner. It's out on the far side into the penalty area. It comes from Bruno Fernandes. A poor ball, and Scotland clear out for a throw over on the far side.
A really good ball in from Lewis Morgan. It was to Shea Adams at the back post. He could have headed it towards goal, knocks it down into a really good area actually, and I think Willie's right, it just wouldn't sit for McTominay, would it?
You just wonder if he could have anticipated it slightly earlier, McTominay, and just walked on and caught it almost in the volley, because it's a really good knockdown from Adams.
Portugal come forward down the right. Joao Cancelo taking on Robertson, level with the penalty spot, forced away from goal. A little bit of movement offered to him by Bernardo Silva. Lovely trickeries away from McLean. He pulls it back, and it's gone straight to Gilmour. That was fortuitous from a Scotland point of view, as Robertson plays it out to this near side for Adams. Under pressure, dinks it out onto the chest of Gold. Gold has it. Morgan's on his bike if he can find him down the right. It's in between he and Ralston though, but he can put Ralston in, although he might have been offside, but Scotland play on. McTominay has made his way into the box. He's just too far in front of him. He can't get onto it. He's on it now, left-hand side of the area. McTominay into the penalty box. Brilliantly defended by Joao Cancelo, though. And it's now back with the goalkeeper. There was no flag coming there, so the run was obviously timed perfectly. It stays Scotland 0, Portugal 0.
Ryan Gould did really well to pick the ball up and spread it out wide to Lewis Morgan. First time round the corner, it was a really good run from Anthony Ralston, but at that point in time he's only got one option in the middle of the box, and it's Scott McTominay who'd bust himself to get there. The pass has got to be right. He had too much pace in it, and the chance was gone. It was a really good chance as well.
Ralston's well onside actually. When you see it, it's perfectly timed.
Yeah, it's a brilliant run. I think it was Silva that was playing him onside. But it's great energy from Scotland. Brilliant run from Scott McTominay as well. I just wish there was a midfield runner, because probably the run from McTominay was doing enough just to take the Portuguese backline into an area. The space was just around the penalty spot for the cutback. But good play, really positive from Scotland.
A couple of chances tonight, haven't taken them. Joao Cancelo, meantime, right-hand side of the box, gets it into Bernardo Silva, flicks towards goal. It's blocked and cleared on the 6-yard line. A header from Antonio Silva, or rather Antonio Silva from Ruben Diaz. It's Silva on this near side now, and he's found Joao Cancelo again. Constant threat, this guy. Joao Cancelo down this near side. And he's found Bernardo Silva, back to Cancelo, well blocked by Robertson, who prevents the corner as well. Almost on 78, it stays nothing each. Gold plays it infield to McTominay, shifted back to McLean, and now Robertson, and back to McLean once more. What a shift they put in at the back this evening. The use of the ball's been really poor at times tonight, but defensively speaking, they've been out of possession. There's not been too much wrong there, and as I said earlier, Craig Gordon hasn't been overworked in the match.
He hasn't. We're now heading into Tom's start of destruction time, so let's hope we manage to continue in this vein.
Shifted into Vitinhas at the edge of the box, dancing forward and shooting, blocked by Hanley. And the break here to Ruben Neves, turns it right-hand side of the box. Joao Cancelo lofts it into the back post, but Gordon will hold on as he seeks to find clean sheet number 33 on what is his 77th cap.
Again, it's not much for him really to deal with. Very simple. And he's been quiet. I mean, the unit in front of him, the defensive unit that the team have created and stuck with the entire night, have been very good. We've waxed lyrical about it, the concentration levels, the communication, just filling in, doubling up in key areas at different points. Kenny McLean in particular has been very good.
Ralston goes down, free kick over on the far side. There's a little bit of respite. It remains 3-3 in Warsaw. They're a minute or two ahead of us. I think Croatia down to 10 men as well. We've had their goalkeeper Dominik Livakovic sent off. McTominay knocks it back to Gilmore. I think Lyndon Dykes is going to be on shortly for the home team. It's with McLean. Just flicks it back to Suter. Now back with McLean. We're about, in the next 20 seconds, to enter the final 10 of the 90. Robertson can't keep it in play on this near side from a long ball. Difficult one for him to deal with, though. Portugal take the throw in through Cancelo to Silva, and now with Diaz.
As much as the back four have been solid tonight, I think the midfield in front of them, especially Kenny McLean in this second half, and
he's done well, hasn't he, defensively?
Yeah, I think, you know, just blocking off passes and putting people under pressure. It's the dirty side of the game, it's the ugly side of the game, but he's put in an incredible shift, especially this second half, Kenny.
He's tried to bring a different range of passing as well. At times it's not been on, and he's been guilty of a few misplaced passes as well, but he's looking to try and now just open the game up, just lengthen some of the passes, switches of play, and still keeping top of the defensive work that he's been doing.
Leao over on the far side. Played back to Ruben Neves, who scoops it to the right-hand side of the centre circle for Silva. Now Vitinha forward to Ronaldo, who's barely touched the ball in the second half, actually. And I mentioned his name there. Here is Cancelo on this near side. Short ball in field to Vitinha. Now Ruben Neves surveys the Scotland box ahead of him, plays the short ball to Vitinha. On this near side is Cancelo. Vitinha turns and rolls it back to Ruben Diaz. Now Mendes to Leao. It's level with the Scotland 18-yard line over on the north stand side. Turns it back to Nuno Mendes. Square ball for Vitinha. Turns away from McTominay. Right foot pass out to the left-hand touchline for Leao. Facing Ralston. Morgan tries to help him out. It's turned back the way. In comes the cross from Bruno Fernandes. It's cut out brilliantly though by Suter. McLean heads it away, facing his own goal. He did well. Here come Portugal again. Still Lyndon Dykes waiting to come on. He's trying to keep warm down there. And the muscles ready for the final push. And as Joao Cancelo gets it again on this near side, low ball for Bernardo Silva. Now it's Vitinha, right angle of the box, out to the right, Ruben Neves crosses in, headed half away, Ronaldo takes it down, left of the penalty spot and fires it wide of the right hand post. The Scotland fans felt he'd used a hand there. He's now straight in the face of the referee, claiming for a corner. He's not getting one. It is a goal kick to Scotland. It stays 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why Scotland are frustrated. I think it was John Suter that challenges with Ronaldo. I mean, it's good play, if anything. Portugal, they are overplaying it, but they put a good ball in. I think it's Fernandes, actually, that comes together with Suter. Looked like a foul to me. And perhaps they're claiming, is it a deflection they're after, looking for a corner?
Yeah, I think he felt as though the shot had taken a wee nick to take it round the post.
Ruben Diaz was booked as well in the midst of all that as Shea Adams comes off. It's been a tough evening for him. Lyndon Dykes replaces him. I'm getting a better angle of the shot from Ronaldo there. I'm not sure it did take a touch.
Wasn't far away.
No. But I'm not sure either. I don't know if there was definitively a touch.
McTominay's lost out to Bernardo Silva. Gets back onto it from Vitinha. Up to the edge of the box. Gets the ball in. Cleared by Suter. McTominay will get a second chance perhaps to clear. He's been fouled at the edge of his own box. And Scotland will have a free kick. And again, a little breather for the Tartan Army inside Hampden this evening. And it will be a Scotland free kick, which will be taken by Craig Gordon. Lyndon Dykes coming on there for cap number 40. Waiting a little while for his 10th international goal now. A good time to get it. It is 3-3 in Warsaw. Croatia hanging on, down to 10 players. Scotland have it down the right. Chasing after it is Morgan. Nuno Mendes, the covering player, lets it go out for a throw-in deep inside his own half. Portugal throw-in. They played almost 84, nothing each. Charge down. Scotland trying to win it back the edge of the box. McTominay, but it's cleared by Antonio Silva. Up towards halfway. Hanley with a glancing header for Robertson. Finds Suter. And then Gilmore out to Ralston. Dykes might be the target here. McTominay up there too. McTominay against Antonio Silva. Bounces away from both of them. And back into the gloves of Diogo Costa. And it stays Scotland 0, Portugal 0.
It is a real threat in terms of an ideal threat now that we've got on the pitch. That pass was more of a diagonal ball, direct ball up to the kind of front two. McTominay joins the front two at least, but maybe that's the way to go in the last few minutes, just be a wee bit more direct.
Portugal are going to bring on Chelsea's Joao Felix. The next break in play. Here's Vitinha out to Leao on the left. He's got a bit of space here. Rolls it back to Nuno Mendes. Back out to Leao. Level with the penalty spot. Pops it back to Vitinha. Looks up at the goal. Knocks it towards it and then headed away by Suter. Pretty pleased with his 2 games in this camp, regardless of what happens in the next few minutes. Here's Bernardo Silva, right of the penalty area. Turns it back the way to Ruben Neves. Now it's with Bruno Fernandes. Out to this right-hand side, Cancelo, low ball, and then the little flick at goal by Bernardo Silva. Blocked by Hanley and behind for the corner. Tough going this.
Yeah, good play from Portugal. Just a searching ball, a tricky ball across the front. Hanley reads it really well.
Corner's taken quickly. Portugal in a hurry, running out of time if they want to win the game. Bernardo Silva has it on this near side, turns it back to Joao Cancelo. It's a high lofted ball to the left-hand side of the box. Diaz just trying to keep it in play because it sailed over his head. Diaz back the way to Ruben Neves. Into the midfield with Vitinha. Seconds ticking down, now on 86. This is when things have started to go pear-shaped for Scotland too often in recent times. Vitinha has it. Around about this time, Ronaldo scored the winner in Lisbon last month. He's on the ball, left angle of the box, finds Leao, gets it back onto his right, crosses in, headed away by Gauld and helped away by Dykes. And it remains 0-0. But my goodness, the Scotland fans been put through the mill here, all for the sake of a potential goalless draw. Vitinha out wide left of the box, it is with Leao. Drops his shoulder and then pulls it back. Gordon makes the save and holds on. Brilliant goalkeeping with Ronaldo looking to eat up the leftovers there. It stays Scotland 0, Portugal 0. That looked like the moment for the Portuguese.
It probably should have been, but it's a brilliant save from Craig Gordon. You cannot put age in front of him. A brilliant reflex stop late into the game. Talk about concentration levels. It was one of the only times in the match that they've actually got to the byline and managed to cut it back. You were just expecting we got a pitch invader.
That's a brilliant bit of play again from Portugal.
He's wanting a selfie with Ronaldo. They were doing this in Lisbon
Look at the pace of this guy. That's top stewarding. Yeah. Top stewarding.
Brilliant tackle.
Did you see the pace of him?
That's possibly the best tackle by a steward that I've ever seen.
It was the tackle was good. But
I mean, that guy's got so close to Ronaldo there.
I know. Yeah. I mean, this is the thing.
I know.
I mean, all it takes is for one of these guys running on the pitch to be carrying something they shouldn't be.
Yeah. No, you're spot on. You're spot on.
Top marks for that guy.
Came for that top right-hand corner as well. I didn't see him coming.
I was like a bolt of lightning.
Vitinha and Joao Cancelo are coming off. Nelson Semedo of Wolves has come on. And as I said, Joao Felix has entered the fray too. And Scotland are going to bring on Nicky Devlin for an international debut. And what a fabulous moment it is for the Aberdeen player. He's been so consistent since he joined the club. He's enjoying Aberdeen's run of 13 successive wins at the start of the campaign. They go to Celtic Park, full coverage on Sports Sound on Saturday. But for me, we bumped into Nicky Devlin in Cologne after the Switzerland game. He was there as a member of the Tartan Army. And look at this, a few months later, making his international debut. Have some of that.
It's absolutely brilliant. What a night for him, what an occasion, and what a tough maybe 5 or 6 minutes he might have. Tony Ralston certainly gave his absolute tank.
He's done well in this double-header, as he did last month, to be fair.
He did, and he was out on his feet just at that last Portugal chance. He just fell to the ground. His legs have completely gone, which you can understand. Not had a lot of football.
Well, the ref's given a Portugal free kick down the near side. It looked like a Scotland free kick all day long there. Dykes won it back. The ref didn't like the challenge on Antonio Silva, and Portugal have a free kick just a few yards inside the Scotland half over on the near side touchline.
Just before it, Gauld had kind of got into a challenge. Might get it here on the replay.
90th minute here.
I don't know. I don't think that's a foul to Portugal, really.
Yeah.
90th minute. Find out what the stoppage time will be shortly. It surely can't happen again. Surely. It's just been the last 13 months. The late goals that have gone in, the mistakes that have been made. Scotland, they will have earned this point. They've deserved to be on the board already in this Nations League section, despite the quality of opponent they're coming up against. They haven't been blown away by anyone as far as the goals are concerned. Yes, Portugal are a better side. They're packed full of superstars. They're going to have lots of the ball. Scotland have put in a shift tonight. It's come all the way through. Devlin's going to see it behind for the goal kick. They're in stoppage time in Warsaw. It remains 3 apiece. 4 minutes have been added, so Scotland are 4 minutes away from, OK, a 0-0 draw. But look who they're up against.
Yeah, no, it'll be an unbelievable result tonight against all odds, you would need to say. I think there's still a bit of belief in this stadium, right enough that Scotland could actually go and sneak it if they can find the same type of energy, perhaps a similar type of chance that they created on Saturday evening, albeit it was chopped off. But Tomo touched on Dykes up top. McTominay's been up there as well. Gold has looked technically really good since he's come into the game. Morgan with his pace off the right hand side.
It's great to see Ryan Gauld get his chance, because he burst onto the scene more than a decade ago now. He's getting his chance finally. It is Nuno Mendes for Portugal, midway inside his own half, rolling it back to Ruben Dias, striding forward. Scotland have negotiated one of the 4 minutes of stoppage time. 0-0 at Hampden. Ruben Dias goes across halfway, left of the centre circle. A little dink with the right foot out to the left-hand side. Portugal desperately seeking the winner to keep their 100% record going. João Felix, and then helped on its way by Ruben Neves to this near side. Now Semedo, back to Ruben Neves. Semedo has it level with the 18-yard line of Scotland. Now Bernardo Silva just lays it back to Ruben Neves. The cross ball comes in, it's flicked away, it's dropped to Leao, who shoots a goal, and it's brilliantly blocked by Devlin. What a block from the debutant.
Look at everybody running to him, celebrating with him. It's an incredible block. The kind of ball misses everybody. The cross comes in, it goes to the back post. You're just waiting, and Leao, his touch popped it up in the air to him, which kind of allowed Devlin the time to get out to him, but then he just threw himself at it. 2 minutes left of the stoppage time. Portugal's latest corner, though. In-swinger with the right foot coming up from Bruno Fernandes, headed away by McTominay. And as far as Nuno Mendes. Out to this near side for Bernardo Silva. He's being faced by Morgan. Left foot cross ball comes in. Headed away by Devlin. Picked up by Leao. Left angle of the box. Dances into a more central position. Plays it short to Ruben Neves. To the right-hand side of the box for Bernardo Silva. Back the way for Neves. His cross is deflected into the box. That was surely a foul. It was by Ruben Dias. And it will be a foul on McTominay. Scotland have a free kick inside their own box. And a few precious seconds slip away from what's left of this match, which is already in its dying embers. Scotland 0, Portugal 0. We're approaching the end of the 3rd minute of stoppage time. 4 were added.
Yeah, and Billy Gilmour's the latest player to be down in the turf. I think it was just a bit of cramp. Yeah, players indicating to Steve Clarke to take him off, but I don't think Scotland have got another stoppage left. Am I right, Liam? So he's going to need to get on with it for the last 90 seconds or so.
Yeah, they've had their 3 stoppages for subs. And it will be a free kick to be taken by Craig Gordon, who's in no hurry. What a good clean sheet this will be if they can get through the next 40-odd seconds. Long ball from Gordon into the Portugal half. Dykes kills it on the chest, turns it out to Gauld. Goes back the way to McLean. Forward to Gauld. Robertson's on the left-hand side. Could this be an incredible finale? Robertson's ball, it's headed away. Dykes almost got on the end of it. Bernardo Silva helps it clear. Gilmour knocks it in field. Gauld keeps it alive. Here's Robertson. Gould's going on the overlap, desperately trying to get into a good position. He has it. Gauld down by the byline. Wins the corner, is he? No, not quite. Semedo keeps it in play and boots it clear. Gilmour takes it down. Scotland ending the match in the front foot here. Not sure there's much time left, though. We've played the 4 minutes, and Portugal are coming away in the counter with Bernardo Silva. A 5th minute of stoppage time. 4 were added. Right angle of the box. Scotland getting back in numbers. The pass from Bruno Fernandes wasn't great. Silva, though, will win the corner. He pulls it back, it's blocked, but there's the final whistle. There's no time to take it. It's now 1 win in 16, but this result tonight stands up head and shoulders above anything that Scotland have produced in the last 13 months of misery. A stoic defensive performance has been rewarded with a point against the great Portugal, as the referee starts flashing yellow cards at frustrated visiting players. Bernardo Silva's just picked one up after the final whistle. Really good defensive performance. Craig Gordon was there when they needed him and made 2 superb saves, 1 in each half. And it could be difficult for Angus Gunn to get his place back if he returns to the fold for next month's doubleheader. The fans booing Ronaldo, who's got plenty to say for himself as ever down there. They had a couple of chances, but it wasn't a night where the Scotland goalkeeper was overworked. As Bruno Fernandes leads the Portugal players to their fans, Ronaldo's not entertaining that. He's gone straight up the tunnel. Scotland had chances themselves. Scott McTominay will be left to rue an early header he put straight at Diogo Costa. Christie had a shot saved as well. And there were little moments in the second half when they got into the attacking third and looked as though they might be able to do something. McTominay with a swipe at fresh air. But every single one of those Scotland players tonight put in a sweat-soaked shift. From all those who started to Nicky Devlin, who came on for the last few minutes and made a tremendous block to deny AC Milan's Rafael Leao with a late winner. The late winner for Portugal didn't come. And after a year of late goal concessions, Scotland held firm. And they have picked up their first point in Nations League A against the side sitting top of the group. They may yet have a shot at finishing third and going into the Nations League playoffs in March, where they would potentially, if they manage that, go up against a League B runner-up to try and stay in League A for the next edition of the tournament. Yes, 1 win in 16. Yes, no wins in 10 competitive matches now. But they've avoided the ignominy of losing 5 successive matches for the first time. And they deserve their point this evening. For all Portugal's possession, Scotland more than matched it with guts this evening. It finished at Hampden Park. Scotland 0, Portugal 0.
Football from Sport.